Well, good morning, good afternoon. How are you, fashion dolls? And welcome to an all-new episode of Style by Stevie Talk Show. Joining me today, we have a fresh new face, new up-and-coming actor, Jhamahl Hill, will be joining us today to talk about his movie role, A Day to Die, which will be releasing in 2022. And before we can get into today's show, let's get into our sponsors, fashion dolls. As I'm waiting for everyone to get in here, let me go ahead and share this live for today, fashion dolls. As you guys know, today's show is sponsored by Exclusive Beauty, responsible for every single hairstyle, every single makeup look that I've had. Exclusive Beauty is the way to shop. Check out our newest cosmetics collection, Lush Mahogany, for women of color, for women of all shades. We have lipsticks, we have the eyeshadow palette, as you guys can see that I'm wearing today. So shout outs to our girl Talana for always making sure that we're right. Also, another sponsor that I would love to give a shout outs to is Blue Haze Clothing. I need y'all to go and check out Blue Haze Clothing. Definitely go and shop Blue Haze. Also, another one of our sponsors is Passionate Desires. You guys know Candy Burrs from the Real Housewives of Atlanta and Escape. Well, she has her exotic, erotic bedroom candy line. So she not only has adult toys, but she also has hair care and makeup as well too. So you guys stay tuned for that. But also, I'm doing a giveaway for Passionate Desires and Travel Destiny Worldwide. Shout outs to our girl, Miss B. Keenert. I need you guys to go and shop with her for bedroom candy so that you guys can get into here. I'm giving away a $50 rebate card so that when you travel across the world, you'll save money on travel expenses. Wherever you want to go to travel to, you will have that. So, without further ado, let's get into this interview with our special guest. And those are all of our sponsors for today's show, fashion dolls. As we get into it, let me see if he's here. Ladies and gentlemen, Jhamahl Hill. Welcome. Welcome to the dollhouse. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
It is such a pleasure to meet you finally.
It's same here.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jhamahl Hill. So let's get into this interview. Tell us a little bit about where you grew up, where you were born, and what made you get your start into acting.
Well, I was born in actually overseas. I was born in Frankfurt, Germany.
Wow.
Well, both my parents are military. But I was raised here in Utica, Mississippi. So is everything okay?
Yes, everything is fine.
Okay, I see a loading screen on mine. But yeah, I was raised out here in Utica, Mississippi. Kind of a country boy. Went to school down in U.S. Army University of Southern Mississippi. So that's how I got my intro into acting, which was theater. That's where my background is. Then I got with an agent, and that's how I really got started. My professional career was with my agent.
Okay.
Which,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
at the time, I was like 18 years old. That's when I got started off with my first agent. And that's when I had my first commercial. And I guess that's where really things started getting on track.
And they are, because you just booked your first movie role, and this is your first ever interview that you've done. Because I've tried to look up and do a little research on you, because I have been trying. I was like, I have to get him on my show. It's something about you. You light up the screen. And the thing about yes.
Thank you.
And I love working with new up-and-coming actors and indie artists on my platform. I don't just interview the big names like the Vanessa Williams and the I've had so many guests on here. Tony Terry, 112. There's so many that I've had on here, so many few. Done over a total of 204 shows. Not only on here, but there are some on Facebook as well too. So it's just like, let me go on ahead and give new up-and-coming actors a chance to shine as well too, because I also have done some acting. I just recently starred in a horror film. Shout outs to Alex Jonte, The Assistant 2, which will be dropping October, my birthday month. I'm a Scorpio, so y'all already know what we giving. But that will be coming out pretty soon, The Assistant 2 Reconnected. And the trailer will be dropping September 6th, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that as well too. I have that. But what advice would you give to new up and coming actors? Because you're new, you're fresh in the game, and I'm pretty sure you've had to learn things along the way as well too.
hmm my advice to new upcoming actors: train, train, and train. If you don't have a studio somewhere or a place where you can go do workshops with other actors, start networking, get some people together, and just do scenes, and do scenes. I mean, because if you're not training, this is one of those crafts that if you're not practicing, you get extremely rusty, uh, and you don't portray the character to its fullest.
Yes,
So yeah, train, um, and not all training is good either. You have to train well, um, if that makes sense. I mean, it's like sports. If you practice trash, then you're gonna do trash. So if you train well, get some really good acting coaches around you, or some other experienced actors that can look you over and tell you what you're doing wrong, tell you where your impulses are, or bad impulses, bad habits. That's how you get good. And just
absolutely.
take it. Yeah, yeah. But
Go ahead.
also
I'm
just
sorry.
take it slowly. Take it slowly. That's I guess that's another thing. Some actors do get lucky, it just happens. But for most of us working actors, um, luck is not always on our side. So you have to just grind. Um, uh, so just take it slow. Don't think your career is going to take off just like that. Um, and you're going to hear a lot of no's, but when you finally get that yes, put everything you have into it.
Absolutely, 100%. And I did an interview with actor Kevin J. Stone, and he was saying the same
hmm
thing. There's books out here that can teach you about acting because when I shot my role for The Assistant, I had no acting experience. I don't have acting experience. This will be my first movie role ever. And I'm thankful that my friend Alex gave it to me because he saw something in me, he saw potential. This is what you guys know me mainly for, is just hosting the show and journalism. But I've learned even in high school, I remember my teacher made me get up and recite Shakespeare. It was Othello
hmm
or one of these Shakespeare books. She had us stand up in front of the class and recite the lines from it, and that alone kind of had me getting up and wanting to do more public speaking engagements. And I also took public speaking in high school as well too, and that's what kind of jump started me right into the field of journalism as well as cosmetology and not just doing hair but nails, makeup, so many different things that have taught me along the way to get into where I'm at right now. So just that alone, just a little bit, bits and pieces. There's books out here, there's programs that you can watch, there's
hmm
agents and coaches that can help you get to where you need to be. I'm no Viola
Definitely.
Davis. I'm not Gabrielle Union, and
Yeah.
I'm not Reese Witherspoon. I have no acting experience, no acting background. But Alex, I love what directors and producers do, and that's what they're willing to do, and that is work with you. They're willing to let you know. And I love the fact that because he has such a genius outlook on things of how he wants his film to be shot, what angles work.
hmm
Well, we're going to switch this up. And most of the actors that were on set that I work with, they have experience. They ad libbed and everything. So I just say, you know what? Okay, you go. You do what you do, and I'll do what I do. Because in this movie, this particular film, this horror film, which is again my first role, he wanted me to play a college professor, and
Okay.
I've never taught a class. I've never taught a class or
Uh huh.
anything. I have no experience with that. But I said, okay. So I had to dig deep down inside of myself and I said, okay, who is somebody that commands attention when she's teaching a class? And I thought about my one of my teachers in high school, Miss Ferguson.
hmm
She came right to my mind. She commanded that attention in that class, and more importantly, she got you together because she needed you to. I said, okay. So for you, is it easy for you to get into character, or do you sometimes break, or do you have those moments where just like, okay, cut, I messed something up? Because me, I'm a perfectionist. I like things to be ran smoothly. I'm
Uh,
pretty sure you are too.
well, well, when I get to set, it is pretty easy because mainly for us actors, if you're doing the work, the if you're preparing yourself beforehand, because 80% of what you're going to be doing is script analysis,
Yes.
trying to get ready for when you get on set, you're ready and on time. So getting in character is pretty easy, I guess. In the earlier process, depending on the character, if it's almost the 180 of my own personality, then it could probably be really tough because then I'm trying to dissect the character in such a way that I can really put myself into those shoes and portray the character the way it's supposed to be portrayed. Um, there has been some characters that have been really tough to do, but if I get enough time to prepare and see what's behind the words in the script, then yeah, it could be it's pretty easy. If you have the experience, I guess for upcoming actors, it can be. Um, so yeah, yes or no, yes and no. I guess that's the real answer.
And I know there comes times when some actors like to go kind of off script, and they're just like, okay, we're going to go with
Hmm.
this and we're going to wing it. And for me, that was kind of difficult as well too, because when that director said, okay, we're shooting, oh boy. And I remember breaking
Oh yeah.
character. I skipped over one of my lines in this film. And he
Hmm.
said, okay, we're going to do another take. We're going to do another take. You're doing well. You're doing excellent. That's what you need. You need constructive criticism. And as an actor, that is going to
Oh
help you
yeah.
along the way, because this definitely helped the greats like the Viola Davises, the Denzel Washingtons, the Sidney Poitiers, all of the actors out here that we know and love, the Ruby Dees, the Ozzie Davises. All of these actors out here had to take some sort of skill in acting. And my question for you is, are you against school or are you for school? Like, there's a lot of acting
I'm for
school and
school.
coaches out here. Me too as well.
I'm for school. Okay, so I told you I first started theater at University of Southern Mississippi. That's where I
Mm.
got my BA in acting. Um, then I went from there to doing acting coaches like Gary Grubbs. And then I moved to LA and I got under Greg Sober. Sorry, getting a little tongue tied. Uh, I went to Berg Studios where I trained under Berg, who's an actual a teacher from Yale, a theater teacher from Yale. But my main teacher was Mr. Womack, who actually you said Viola Davis graduated in the same class with Viola Davis. So
Wow.
a lot of that that training I got firsthand from him. Um, and actually, she was supposed to come speak to our class, but I think she had some confliction that day, but she wasn't able to come. But I'm definitely for school. Thing is, you can let a lot of that stuff kind of stop you from really just soaking in a character. Meaning that sometimes we so technical in our minds that
Yes.
we can get sometimes choppy, and we can get not even choppy, just almost robotic instead of natural. So I'm for school, getting the technique, getting the method, getting the experience. And then once you start applying a lot of these things, let a lot of stuff go and just be natural, take it in, listen, and just be organic. Um, so a lot of people a lot of times let the script kind of control them, like you were talking about that day you skipped the line. Uh,
Oh yeah.
if it's within the character, that's fine. That's fine. Not all the time. But if it's within the character, it's fine because that's a character-driven impulse. So if it's outside the character, then yeah, I understand stopping and say, "Hey, let's start this back over." Um, which typically on set you probably can't do that. Only the directors can do that. You just if you mess up, just keep going.
Yes. And that's what my co-star, because me and him had a scene where we're exchanging lines together. You know, he's one of the students in the classroom. And I kind of had to check him. I said, you know what? This is my classroom. I'm going to do this my way. So he was just like, keep going. I've
Hmm.
never done acting. Keep in mind that. But I went in and I nailed it. The full entire thing. That last take, nailed it.
Hmm.
I think it was the third or
Yeah,
last
sometimes
take,
it
nailed
takes
it.
a few takes to kind of get where you want to be, kind of take in the environment, the given circumstances. Um, Sometimes it may take a few takes, and typically, depending on the scene or the cut, you're probably going to have about like 20 30 takes within that one cut, anyways. So they're just trying to take the best cuts within that anyway. So a few takes is fine.
Absolutely, 100%. Because there are so many actors and actresses out here that are perfectionists and that are just craftsmen at what they do. So, my question for
Yes.
you is, who's some of your inspiration? Who's some of your favorite actors or directors that you would like to work with one day?
That I like to work with.
That you
That
would
I
like to
would
work
like to
with,
work with.
yes.
Oh, okay. Well, my favorite actor I've always watched was Will Smith. Um, I've always wanted to work with him. I'm not sure if he's active at this moment. Um, but other than him was probably Hill Hilliard. I read a lot of his books. Watched a lot of his shows. I would love to work with him. Um, Denzel Washington, yes. Morgan Freeman, those are a lot of actors that are kind of almost a given. But Hilliard is one of those guys that I definitely would like to work with. This last movie, I worked with a lot of my favorite actors. I'm not sure if I could really say who's in that movie yet, um, because of contractual conflictions. Um, but yeah, um, other than that, maybe Viola Davis for sure. Probably Octavia Spencer. Um, for instance, those two. Yeah, it's really not anybody I wouldn't want to work with, unless they're quote unquote method actors. Then it can be kind of over the top.
It gets a little challenging like that. And my thing is this: for the people out here who want to become an actor, I love what Jamal just said a few minutes ago. I'm here for school. I'm here for school. I'm here for education. 100%. If this is something that you're passionate about, there's workshops. There's people who are out here looking for extras. If you want to get your feet into acting and producing and doing so many things in this field of entertainment, it's such an amazing talent to have, to be able to act or do music or to produce, to do so many different things. Make sure you guys please go to school. And if this is something that you're passionate about, follow it. Go for it. If you're passionate about doing it 100%. Me, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't really go to school for acting. I didn't go to school for acting. I've
Okay.
studied along the way and I've watched other people and I'm just like, wow. Wow, how do you do this? Like me, I'm more so of a speaker. I love to speak. I love,
Hmm.
journalism. That's what I've always wanted to do since I was a baby, since I was 8 years old, was speak and read and be able to educate people and
Hmm.
just gain knowledge. And there's so many books and so many programs out here that can help you. Like there's it used to come on True Hollywood Story, and now Unsung and Uncensored, and now you're hearing the Hollywood Reporter, and so many of these magazines out here putting out questionnaires when they're doing their interviews with actors on what made them get into acting, and just documentaries and series out here.
Hmm.
Netflix has plenty of it. There's so much knowledge out here if you want to become
Yes.
an actor. It's not for me personally. I will stay in my arena, and that is looking beautiful, fashion, and journalism. That's
Uh-huh.
that's what I do. I'll interview the actors on the red carpet. I have no problem with doing that. But I wouldn't mind doing another acting role or two. And I'm pretty sure Jhamal here, he has a lot in store coming. Like your Our
Yeah.
most recent film, A Date to Die, that will be releasing in 2022. Congratulations on your first movie role, my love. I'm so proud of you, and I'm happy that I'm sitting across you right now because you don't know. Like, I have been trying to look at myself. Oh my God, I'm a man eater. I'm gonna dig my claws into this man, and I'm gonna bring him into the dollhouse. Okay, so
I appreciate it.
you're so welcome, and I'm glad that
Mhm.
you're here right now, 100%, just sitting across from me. We're talking about something that we love, and that is acting. Me, I'm new to the scene. You have way more experience than me, and 100%, I have a long way to go, and I have a lot to
Mhm.
learn because it's a lot of work. Being, I commend the Viola Davises and, like you said, the Will Smiths out here. Would you ever see yourself getting into directing or producing later on down the line?
Yes, definitely both of those for sure. Um, Actually, while I'm on set, I'm sorry, I don't want to correct you, but this is my first film. This is my first film for a featured part. Although I've had two other films, one other that was filmed here at Mississippi, which was Black Site Delta, and I did
Mm,
uh, stunts and I did background in that. And then I did a movie out in not Mississippi, but L.A., which was the story of Matthew Madsen. Um, that's when I first got my featured role, and then now into this movie, which is even more featured. So I haven't gotten that speaking role yet, um,
it's coming.
but it's coming. Yeah, it's coming. It's definitely coming. Yeah. I'll give one more piece of advice for upcoming actors, and I think this is extremely important.
Yes,
Um, do it for the love. Do it for the love of acting. Um, you don't want to get into it for the money because not always things are gonna, like I said, work out. And most people don't understand that when you're an actor, a working actor, typically through the year's time, you're not gonna have anything that's high paying right off, and not often, unless you gotten to that elite level like Viola Davis or Will Smith. If you know, I'm still considered non-union. I'm still trying to get to SAG. I'm actually SAG eligible, but I'm still trying to get into SAG, which would be that will bump me up in consideration, and it's union. Um, but yeah, big thing is do it for the love of just acting. It's telling the story, which is the most part. Most of the time, people don't want to. Only the people that support you are going to want to watch something that you do for you. But most people that don't know you, they just want to see the character. So yeah, do it for storytelling.
absolutely, 100%. And you're on your way to SAG. You're on your way to SAG. You're on your way to getting the next to lead role. It's coming. I like to manifest things. So I don't
I
want to say I'm
appreciate it.
not there. I don't like when people say I'm not there yet. It's coming. You just gotta hang tight. You're
Oh
doing an
yes,
excellent job.
just
I've
keep
seen
working
just a
at it.
little. Yeah.
Hmm.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm just interacting with you.
Yes, I was saying that it's coming for you right along the way. You just keep doing what you're doing. Just from the little
Hmm.
clips and pieces that I've seen of you in action, I said, "Oh my God, he's got something on his hand as well as the other actors as well too." And I've reached out to so many actors that are, in the same position that you're in, and they said, "Oh, Miss Stevie,
Hmm.
I don't want to come on your platform because I'm not there." And let me tell you something. Let me say something real quick. Everybody is eligible for SAG. And then next, I see it in the future, it's going to be the Emmy Awards. The next is going to be the Oscars. And I agree with what you said 100% about the money, Jamal. Baby, when I tell you, I've been saying that all week, it's not about the clicks and likes and views for me. It's about going for
Hmm.
something that you're passionate about doing. If acting is something that you're passionate about doing, go for it. And it's a good way to relieve stress as well, too. Everything
Oh
that
yeah.
you're thinking in the back of your mind, you want to just say it, you get into character. And I'm going to use an actress as an example. Let's go with Angela Bassett. Every
Okay.
character that this woman has played, from Tina Turner to Bernadine from Wait and Exhale, she has given her all. She's giving it to us, and you can feel the raw emotion when you're watching her on screen. And I'm gonna get to the actor side, to the guy side. Chadwick Boseman, real,
Yes.
raw, authentic emotion, and that's what
Hmm.
directors and producers are looking for.
Agreed. Totally agree. Um, the thing about Chad Boseman, I'm actually very disappointed I didn't get a chance to work with him. He actually came down here to Mississippi for a little bit when they were filming Get On Up, which I did audition for the movie, never got into it. Um, but he's one of another inspiration. I totally forgot about Boseman. I followed his career from when he was my level all the way up, going in from C movies to B movies and all the way up to Marvel. And also now he came out with Hope. Unfortunately, it came out after he's passed, which was the Netflix show. Have yet to watch it yet. I'm actually kind of concerned about watching it because I know he's passed, and it kind of made me a little sad. uh, yeah, there's a lot of projects out there I won't watch because if I know that that the actor or actress has passed,
Passed away.
because I want to see more. I want to see more of them.
That hit us hard. His death
Hmm.
hit us hard, and
It
when I
did.
got the
It did.
news, I was scrolling out Instagram. I was just getting home, coming from I think the grocery store. Was it the hair salon? One of the places. And I seen it on Instagram, and I just couldn't believe it. I said, "No, this is you can't be serious. You got to be kidding
Yes.
me, right? Not him. He was so young,
Hmm.
and he did the Spike Lee film. We never knew what he went through, and that just goes to show you that perseverance is key when you're working out here to become an actor or an actress. It takes a lot of
Right.
work, and we, the viewers, the people who are behind the scene, the journalists, the viewers, the eyes that are watching you on screen act, we never know what you go through. And that just goes to show you that
Right.
he was a living,
Yes.
walking, breathing testimony. So, where were you when you found
Yes.
out the news about Chadwick?
I think I was at home. Um, like you said, when you read it, when I read it, I honestly thought it was uh alternative facts or something going on. I just thought somebody was lying that this is some type of
Couldn't believe it.
somebody trying to get clickbait or something. I just didn't. I didn't even know that he was sick. Um, with the condition that he had, I didn't even know. I did see that he had been losing weight. I thought that was for that show that came out on Netflix. Um, it could have been, it could have not been. I'm not sure, but man, when I saw it, I was like, man, he just really started his elite career because he had a long career, but you know, Black Panther. I mean, his role as Black Panther. He had a couple of movies that he did for Marvel, and they're just starting to get into the process of filming the next movie, and you know, it goes to show you that we're not promised tomorrow, and every day you need to give life everything that you have because you never know when you're gonna go, and I guess the question is when you do go, how do you want to be remembered?
And that was going to be my next, going to be my kind of last to the next question I was going to ask you. What does Jamal Hill want to be remembered for in his legacy, his acting legacy? What do you choose to leave behind in the next future or the next decade? And my thing is this: give
Uh,
people their flowers while they're here right now, because, like you just said, tomorrow is
right.
never promised.
Yes. Yes. For me, when I leave this earth, I would love to be remembered as one of the hardest workers that you've ever come in contact with, one of the warmest, and hopefully by then I would have built a Nasdaq where I can leave some financial stability to not even just my family, but to homeless people, and then into actual. I want to say because I don't know the correct word for it, but I want to say inner city for inner city help, if that makes sense.
Got you.
Try to give back as much as I possibly can, because when you're blessed with it, you need to spread it around.
Oh
You
yeah.
need to spread it around so that somebody else can come up with you.
100%. And I'm gonna throw in a little joke here because when I first met Jamal, he was like, "Well, what is this interview for? Where did you find me?" And I said, IMDb, and then of course the acting group. I think it was the Atlanta acting group. And
Hmm.
so many actors asked me this question. They said, "Miss Stevie, well, what you got all of these big names, or you've had all of these big names on your platform. Why choose me? I choose you because I see something special in you. And I'm pretty sure that other people will see it as well too as you glow and you radiate on screen and you bring this character to life. You're doing the world a service because people need to see and hear certain things. More importantly, the viewers, because they've been through similar
Hmm.
situations. They've walked some of these situations. It's just like, wow, I can relate. And even when it comes to even television
Yes.
shows, there's always going to be that one character that people can relate to the most. Like
Hmm.
Empire, the show Empire, for example, everybody could relate to what Jamal was going through, or everybody could relate to what the other brother Andre was going through. It was a big conversation on mental health and, the entertainment industry. And I'm thankful for the likes of Taraji P. Henson and so many actors and our former First Lady, Michelle Obama, even spoke out about it. Mental health in our community for us as people of color, that is a big thing. And if actors can portray that and bring it to life and bring awareness to it, I'm here for it 100%. So actors are also
Yep.
therapists and doctors
Agreed.
if you look at it in a way because you guys have a healing process. And the healing process is helping other people heal and cope with, come to terms with what they're dealing with. More importantly, showcasing that, okay, there's something going on. We need to talk about it. We need to address it. And just clear the big elephant out of the room. Let's talk about it and get it out of the way. Put it on the table. Lay all the cards on the table because there's so many people that go through this. And like I said, there's always going
Yes.
to be that one key character that a person is going to relate to and say, and then they get so serious about it, they'll cry and they'll get to the point where, oh my God, why you didn't have to kill that character, man? Like Ghost on Power. Everybody
Hmm.
loves it. Everybody, they get so, the fans, they love it so much that they get caught up in the show. And it's just like, y'all are living and breathing this to the point where they actually think that they're experiencing it. And they're just like, man, you ain't had to kill this character off. So, hey, to the viewers out there, me too. It happens. You got to blame the producers and that, the directors and whoever created the show because it's them that choose to kill the characters off. But more importantly,
Hmm.
they're bringing awareness to a certain thing. So I'm glad that Chadwick did that. He left his legacy. And so many other actors out here have left their legacy, like the Cicely Tysons, the Denzel
Oh yes.
Washingtons, the
Hmm.
Ruby Dee and Ozzie Davis, so many of them, the Sidney Poitiers, the Harry Belafontes, all of them have
Yeah.
left their mark and their legacy. And now what's coming up now is the what's his name? I don't know the show that he's on. His name is Damson. I think his name is Damson or something like that. And the Idris Elbas and the Taraji P. Hensons and the Octavia
Yes.
Spencers and the Taraji P's.
Hmm.
All these actors are standing on the shoulders of the vets that I just named that came before them. And the Dorothy Dandridges, of course, as well, too. So they all had to go through a lot of hurdles to get where they're at. And I love what you also said as well too, which is making sure that you're taking care of yourself and knowing that this is something that you're passionate about. So I'm
Yes.
done preaching and lecturing. I'm gonna let Jamal get his word in edgewise. So what have you been doing? Because 2020 has been a hell of a year. What have you been
Hmm.
doing to make sure that you're staying sane and calm? Because a lot of people have done so many things and just become creative during the quarantine. Things have been shut down. What have you been doing to make sure that you
Well,
maintain your, sanity?
for me, I think I was one of the few that went the other way. Right before, well, 2 years ago, my dad passed. Um, and
Sorry.
it's funny how you were speaking about mental health earlier. I didn't expect to see how that was going to affect me. And when COVID hit, um, things got worse for the worst kinds of ways. I fell into a depression, and I gained probably about like 40 pounds. Um, I stopped auditioning. Although at the time during COVID, there really wasn't a lot of projects going on anyways, but there were small projects going on, like, independent stuff going on. Um, but throughout the COVID, I had a really rough time. And when 2020 came around, when 2021 came around this year, beginning of this year, I decided that I couldn't let this year be like how it was last year, because that was, you know, the worst of me I've ever felt. Because I got pretty bad, pretty close to, you know, doing something I never thought I would ever do. That makes sense, and that makes everybody that's listening kind of understand where I was. Um, but this year I actually went and got help. I went and got a therapist, and things got better. Just talking it out and trying to get to the root of things. And things are not always perfect. And because of the therapy, because of my friends and family, I got close to where I was before I fell into depression, and that's when I started, you know, auditioning more, and that's where I landed the movie. Um, and I've been auditioning a lot more often since then. Um, so yeah, and that kind of brings me to where I am right now, which is in a good state of mind, which is thank God.
100%.
But yeah, mental health is something extremely important, and it affects everybody um, in any tax bracket. That makes sense. It doesn't matter if you're rich. It doesn't matter if you're poor. It can get anybody. And I used to think that I used to be one of those people that would say, "Man, that'll never happen to me. If you're human, it could happen to you." So.
And for us as people of color, as black people, for us in general, we've been taught for years to just stay silent and just
Hmm.
sit back and, I hate to bring it up, y'all. Well, pray, just talk to God. Just talk to God about it. I'm going to say this, and I say this all the time. Faith without work is dead. You have to be
Yes.
willing to do the work in order to get the help. And that means God
Hmm.
put therapists here for a reason, for us to talk to. So when it comes to mental health in the black community, this is something that we have to talk about. And
For
shout outs
sure.
to Jennifer Lewis for being the prime example of that. She wrote a whole book and she said, you know what? There's going to be days when I'm not okay. There's going to be days, it's basically saying it's okay to not be okay. And everyone has lost someone during the pandemic somewhat. You lost your father.
Hmm.
There are people out here who've lost their mothers. There's people out here who lost their fathers, who lost their grandmothers, their grandfathers. It's been difficult all around. But coping with pain and hiding it on the inside is not going to
Hmm.
help. You're gonna drive yourself
Definitely not.
crazy.
Hmm. COVID makes it even worse because
Limited
um,
restriction. Yeah.
yes, my habit was I would isolate myself.
Mm.
Friends and family would, they would call, and would not want to talk. I didn't want to talk. I didn't want to talk. And COVID made it easier to do that because you couldn't really just leave. You couldn't leave out the house. Um, it just made it gave if it gave me an excuse to stay in and isolate. Which now that things, well, COVID's not gone. I don't think it'll ever leave. Um, but now that I think it's becoming more acceptable, if we can get to the point where we look at COVID as we do flu or pneumonia, and that hopefully medicine gets even better. I have been fully vaccinated, um, but I still treat it with the seriousness that comes with
Oh
it.
yeah.
Um, but COVID makes, man, I mean, this pandemic. Who would have thought we would actually live through a pandemic? But it made it so much easier for people to kind of fall into bad habits. Then also on the other side, it really made you think about what do you really value?
Mm.
Because all of a sudden, all those materialistic things that we want was really, it kind of fell away a lot. And the thing that you really wanted to, you start learning about yourself is that just living is something that you want. You want to live a good life, yes, but living the best way you can live is what you're put on this earth to do. You know, um, you know, the pursuit of materialistic things is not always what you're meant to do. You're not supposed to spend majority of the week working and just sleeping. You're not living. You know, so yeah. Mental health, when I say is so important, especially in our community, like you say, within our community. Um, especially for black men. Black men were taught to, they say how you say we're taught to hold it in, don't talk about anything, don't
Don't
cry,
cry, don't show
all these things. That
emotion.
makes it worse, 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 worse. And that's not the way to live. You know, we're human. We're emotional. We just have to be taught those ways to cope with the emotions, to have constructive ways of getting those emotions out and be able to move on. So
I had a conversation with Grammy nominated singer Tony Terry, and he basically was
okay,
saying the same thing that you were saying as well too. For you being a black man as well, black men have been taught to, it's what I like to call the man box, where men don't show emotion, don't cry. If you cry, you look weak. I think a man
right,
crying is the sexiest thing. For me as a woman, as a black woman, I think a man showing emotion and opening up to me because it results in what toxic masculinity. And all of these
right,
things, all of this anger, all of this resentment that you're feeling, all of this pain, all of these things that are affecting you, they're going to be taken out on the woman. And that results
hmm,
in domestic violence and abuse. And that's not cute. So get help. I was reading an article in Essence magazine, and they asked, should black men seek therapy? And Grant Hill was on the cover. This was in 1995.
okay,
Absolutely. Hell yes. Hell yes. And
hmm,
not just for black men, but I'm advocating for black women as well too. We have trauma. And I have to say 20 to 2021 has been the year of the black woman, because we've seen what happened with black women out here, from Meg Thee Stallion to Breonna Taylor to now Makai Bryant. So much injustice, so many things within the black community, and not just with us as black women. But trauma, it affects black people in general. And we
yes,
were raised to internalize it. That Bible,
hmm,
just pray to God, just talk about it, and it'll take the pain away. To me, it's like saying, go drink a whole bottle of Hennessy, and that'll make it just go away. It's
yeah,
drowning your sorrows, drawing
yeah.
your
It
pain.
never goes away.
Yes, numbing yourself. And
It
some
never
people
goes away.
medicate, they do all of these things. There's outlets out here that can help you if you are struggling with battling depression or anger. And when I was 16, I used to be a hot thing. I was a firecracker when I was 16. And I'm a Scorpio, so we already know what Scorpios, we have that temper. So it's just like one thing sets off our triggers and our gears, and in our mind, we're going, we're racing.
0 to
So
100 real quick.
yes, 0 to 100. And a lot of people to this day think that even when I speak, it sounds like, oh my gosh, she's angry, she's crazy, she's going postal. No, I just speak with
Mhm.
passion. That's all. But I can be nurturing and caring. But when I was 16 or 17 up to 19, I had my petty side. I would do things. But as you turn 30, because I'm 27 now, it's a different mindset. It's a different shift. And for a lot of people out here,
It is.
that are up and coming actors, that are young, teenagers, young adults, you think you're going through your problems now with puberty and all of these things that you're going through
Yeah.
in high school that normal, typical teenagers would go through. But baby,
Hmm.
as you hit 30, because my sister cried when she turned 30.
Yeah.
Jhamahl, it was so funny. God bless her soul. She cried when she turned 30. She thought, you know how women are about our ages. And
Hmm.
she just cried. She said, I feel like I'm getting old. No. I told her, no, you're not getting old at all. That means another day wiser. That means that you've gotten
Right.
strength, that you've gotten knowledge, all of these things that you couldn't learn when you were 19. Along the way, that's just child stuff when you're 19, 16,
Mhm.
17. And there should be no excuses for you in your adulthood. Learn from your past what you can learn in your present
Yes.
as well as in your future. And that's my thing. There are certain things that I can't do when I was 17 or 19 years old. Now I'm a grown
Hmm.
woman. It's a whole new outlook on life. I can't make the same mistakes twice. That's called what? Insanity. And in the black community,
Yeah.
again, we've been programmed to just shield the pain away. Just, we gonna numb it, we gonna
Mhm.
pray about it, and that's just gonna be it. No, God put therapists here for a reason. I've seen people do
Yeah.
virtual therapy sessions. There's so many things. We have just become so creative during the quarantine with therapy and outlets.
Hmm.
And I've started doing wellness checks, and I just started doing that because I said, let me sit and reflect. I wonder how other people are doing. And I gave you that look about the material things because Jamal, I'm a Stevie is a fashion girl. I'm a diva. I'm a woman.
Yeah. I
So I
understand.
love I love my fashion over dresses. I love my heels. I love my bags, but I agree with what you said about material things. All of that can be put on hold because self-care comes
Right.
first. And my mom even told me that. And my thing is this, my advice to people out here who are stressed out, just thinking that you're going through issues, that you're going through so much. God sees everything. And more
Mhm.
importantly, you got to make sure that
He
you're
does.
taking care of yourself first. Because you give so much of yourself, you will burn yourself out, tired trying to care for other people, and you're not taking care of yourself. And look at me preaching. I'm up here. I need to take my own advice because I'm selfless. And my mom, she's the same way. I guess I pick up that trait from her. But she's
Hmm.
giving. I said, Mama, you got to stop giving to people that won't give back to you in return. And I'll bring family into this and call names. But my mom has loaned family members money and things like that. And she would get upset when they wouldn't give it back to her. I said, Mama, you got to stop. It's that same thing. It's called insanity. You're going to keep getting, you can't keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. That's just an example. And for me, I had to take my advice too. Stop caring for people and supporting people who are not going to do the same thing for me in return. And I'm pretty sure you've had that experience as well too.
I have. I have. Unfortunately, I have made that mistake so many times of making the same mistakes twice, sometimes more so over. And that's what, you know, that's why I am in the place where I am now, seeking therapy because, um, you know, well, I can't speak for everyone, but I can be extremely stubborn. And when you say the term of insanity, trying to do the same thing over and over again and expecting different results is just, it takes a while for it to sink in for me. And now this year is definitely the year I've tried something new. So you see where it's going. Progress is making, is being made. So yeah. Um, I remember you were speaking about your mom. I can't remember what you said it, like halfway into what you were talking about. But my dad used to say when it comes to materialistic things, actually, materialistic things, boy, he used to say, son, you can have all you want. You can't take it with you when you're gone. So all these things that we do want, and like I said, there's nothing wrong with having a good life. Nothing wrong with wanting to have a good
At
life.
all.
It's just don't make it your number one priority to have these things because then your life will just pass you by. There are some things that are more important than materials and resources. Um, for me, I would say family.
Mm.
Or in my case, I would love to have a family of my own. I think that's way more important than just the pursuit of money, 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 or materials. You want to have those things, yes, because as a man you want to be a provider, um, but it shouldn't be the number one priority only. You know? It should be, up there because you want to be responsible. The thing to me, masculinity equals responsibility. Take a responsibility of the things that that you have in your life. So if I want, like, say, if I want, a family of my own, then yeah, I want to have the resources to take care of a family. But then, if I'm only thinking about the resources when I have that family, I don't have the time to be a father. So, like I said, there are some things that's more important.
And I'm telling you, it will burn you out trying to make sure that
Hmm.
you have everything set. It will burn you out. And trust me, there have been days when I'm just like, okay, stop it. I need to regroup. I need to rethink and re-strategize. And
Yes,
2020 alone
it'll
has
stress
taught
you
us.
out big
Go ahead. I'm
time.
sorry.
No, no, I'm not saying. I was agreeing with you. It'll stress you out big time. And then also a mistake I used to make, and I'm sure a lot of the viewers and a lot of other people would do is uh, compare yourself to others, which big no because that's not your lane. That's not your blessing. Your blessing is yet to come. It might be something bigger. It might not even be as big, but yours is to come. So comparing your life to others, which like I said, I've made it so many times. It's a big no. And I'm saying it will stress you out. Like faith. With social media, um, you know, because a lot of people only post what's going good in their life. They don't post all the issues and the
The
problems
behind the
they
scenes
have
stuff.
got going on.
Hmm.
So you know, like I said, the materialistic stuff it's important, but it's not the most important thing.
And I made that face and I went out to the side because I'm just like, oh my God, he's reading my mind. And someone in my audience, shout outs to my paternal Island Yankee, he said, stop comparing yourself to other journalists. Stop comparing yourselves to the Tamron Halls and the T.S. Madisons and all these other women who have bigger platforms. And that's something that I've realized that I have to stop doing. You're great, but you're in your own
Yes.
way. And everybody has their own talent. And I had a conversation earlier today with Marco. Shout outs to him. He'll be here hopefully with me next week. Um, on comparing yourself to other people. It's okay
Hmm.
to look up to these people as inspiration, but you have to do
Yes.
what's something that sets you aside and makes you different. And I'm not gonna be. And I told so many actors that I reached out to for interviews. I said, first of all, when you come on my platform, I'm not gonna be like Wendy Williams. I'm not here to get all up in your business. That's not my arena. That's not my
Yeah.
cup of tea. I let Wendy do that, and I'm not looking to exploit you. I'm not Oprah. I don't want to be a rich capitalist and exploit people on my platform. But what I do want to
Hmm.
do is bring people on my platform to educate and make awareness to something that is definitely going on in our black community, and that's mental health. Or if they want to learn something, a hobby, or something that they can
Hmm.
possibly gain profit off of, which is becoming an actor or a hairstylist or a makeup artist or fashion, whatever. I do it all on my platform. And I bring everyone on my platform that is new and up and coming and fresh to the scene so that they don't feel like, oh, well, she just does this or she just does that. Because I've had the doors, like you said in the beginning of the interview, there's going to be times when people tell you no. And I've had the door
Yes.
closed in my face so many times. And I said, wow, I think it's a little bit deeper, with the way Hollywood is set up and with the way that the entertainment industry is set up. I've got three
Oh yeah.
strikes. Well, yeah, three strikes against me.
Yeah.
I'm black, I'm a woman, and I'm a part of the LGBTQ community. And
Hmm.
that's kind of like where it stops right there. And I'm just like, okay, so if people are not going to give you this opportunity, what are you going to do with it? Are you just going to sit there and take it? And Madam C.J. Walker, um, she came up with the quote that says, you can't wait for opportunity to come. You got to take it. So I'm
Yes.
going for what's mine, and rightfully so. And
Right.
that's my
Do it yourself.
suggestion to exactly. And I'm pretty sure there have been
Hmm.
times when directors, casting directors, and producers have closed the door in your face, and it's happened to so many
Sure. Hmm.
of our black actors out here, from the Sidney Poitiers, the Harry Belafontes,
Hmm.
to so many others. The first black woman to win an award was Hallie McDaniel. And that opened the
Hmm.
door for all the other actresses out here, like the Dorothy Dandridges, the Holly Berrys, the Lynn Whitfields, the others out here that are so amazing and incredibly talented. The Angela Bassett's, the Idris Elba's,
Yes.
the Denzel's, the John Davis, the Omar, I can't remember his name from Power. Omari
Oh
Hardrick.
my apps.
Yes. Omari Hardwick. Um,
Am I right? Okay.
yes, it's so many. There's so many books and so much knowledge out here that it can educate you. But when it comes to mental health, don't burn yourself out so thin. And
Man,
I
yes.
love what you just said as well too, Jamal, about how people post everything and it looks all beautiful. It's pretty on the outside. But when you flip that picture over, there's some dents, there's some cracks, and everything on the back. It lets
Hmm.
you see everything. So we live in a day and age where everything is like a two-way mirror. Life is like a two-way mirror. And what you
Hmm.
see on the outside, you will not see what's behind that mirror unless people allow you in.
Right.
And I love that Janet Jackson, she came up with the velvet rope. I love the whole velvet rope concept as well too. As you got to be limited to what you allow into your circle, what you take in, because I'm a firm believer that what you
Yes.
put out in the universe, best believe you will give
Hmm.
it back in return. So it's
Hmm.
called karma. It's the law. It's the law of the universe.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. Hmm. I would say there's another person that actually I watch her shows because I think it shows the how big name actresses and celebrities are are also human. They human,
Yeah.
they humanizes them. Is the show Red Table Talks by
Jada
Jada Pinkett
Pink.
Smith.
Oh yeah.
Man, it's good stuff. A lot of people watch it because of the drama, but I watch it because because a lot of times I start looking at my career like, man, I've been at this for a long time, a lot of money, a lot of time invested, and where am I right now? So I get frustrated, and and a lot of times I look at at some of these shows, and and I remind myself, I constantly remind myself, "Man, we're all just human, and to remind myself, hey, it's gonna come. Keep working, keep going. It's gonna come. And then and you want things to be perfect. Nothing's ever gonna be perfect. And it would remind me of something my dad would say: "Be careful what you wish for." So when you finally get it, you know what I have to remind myself, okay, when I finally really hit it the way I want to hit it, I'm gonna have to be prepared that okay, my private life is no longer private. Um, I can't really go anywhere that I want to go like I used to.
Uh huh.
Um, be careful, but how you say the people in your circle. Not just my circle is fine. I'm just talking about adding into that circle
Oh
because
yeah.
some people they'll make it seem like that they're your friend and they're really not. And becoming even more business savvy, which I'm always trying to keep up on the business of Hollywood, because you want to know a lot of these legal terms and a lot of these well scams and things of that sort, because you want to protect yourself.
Oh yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean it's one of those. I like watching shows of that sort, like documentaries slash reality type stuff. Not quite the. I don't mind watching like these shows, which is like was it Real Housewives of Atlanta? I don't mind watching some of those, but it's not really real life to me because that's a lot of fighting every day, and I know me. If I'm arguing almost every day, something about to change because I like to have peace. So you know, looking into other actors that have done it to see what they have gone through. Um, this is another thing I always have to tell myself. Wisdom is learning from other people's mistakes.
Mm,
So you wanna keep up with what's going on, and if it's something they can teach you, that way you don't make the same mistake. Then yeah, keep up with that.
absolutely 100%. And to add on to that as well, my thing is this: I keep a journal or a diary and I write down my progress, the steps that I'm making, the steps that I'm taking. And even when it comes to your circle, as you get up here and as you build a name for yourself, the people who doubted you, the naysayers, notice how they always come around. And when I
Mm-hmm.
created my platform, Style by Stevie, back in, what was it, 2016? I'm 27 now. I started at the age of 17 years old. I didn't know what I was doing. I just went on ahead and I pressed the button on live and I said, let me go on ahead and start talking about celebrities and pop culture. And
Mm-hmm.
I built up my platform to where it's at now. And I said, you know what? There's a lot of things that I have to change about this if I want this to be marketable to pitch for television programs like ABC or CBS or any of these other platforms. But I've done it in a way that the audience can relate to it so much. And my thing is this, the point that I'm trying to make is never lose sight of who you are. And I did an interview with
Yes.
a model by the name of Joel Beeman. It's new, fresh and up and
Okay.
coming actor and model. Um, we were talking about losing who you are. We see it happens
Mm-hmm.
so many times as people get up in
All
this
the time.
industry because there's the good side, there's the bad side, and there's the ugly side, the dark side that people don't really want to show you. And I can use what's her
Right.
name? I love her so much. She was a fashion icon, Joan Crawford. We never
Mm-hmm.
would have expected this beautiful woman
Mm-hmm.
to do these things to her children, mommy dearest, do all these things to her children, and then you're coming out in the public eye and people are just praising you and all of these things. So that's what I'm saying about the good, the bad, and the ugly side. Make sure
Right.
you know who you are first before you get into this. Because it's like Jamal says, as you grow up and people start to recognize you and you're going out in the public eye and it's out there, oh, be ready for the critics to roll
Mm-hmm.
in. And my mama said, you get ready, put your, what she told me, she said, oh, I got your red wagon, put your big girl panties on. You got something coming your way.
Yeah.
And they'll always warn you and they'll tell you, oh, well, didn't we say it? Because mother's always right. And they love to brag about how they're always right. They'll come back and they'll say,
Mhm.
well, didn't
They've
I
been there,
tell
done
you?
that.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
you should have did that.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll just sit back and say, I tried to tell you so. Because I mean, I try to
Right.
do things my way for myself, and I don't try to depend on anybody else. And I try to let friends that are in the industry along with me, that are journalists as well too, that are coming up, I try to let them be my last resort. But I said I'm gonna do it my way. I don't want nobody handing me out no favors or anything like that. I'm gonna do it my way. I'm gonna work for it, and I'm gonna get it. And manifestation is
Right.
key for anything that you're going for. Whatever your purpose or your calling is, because I knew my purpose and calling was fashion and changing things up
Mm-hmm.
and making things beautiful. But I said, I want to do so much more than that. I want to talk to people. I want to network. I want to socialize with people because that's my calling. I remember when I was 8 years old and I was in the doctor's office and my grandmother, she went around bragging about, oh, my baby it was Tony Braxton on the front cover of a magazine. And I
Mm-hmm.
was reading just out the name at 8 years old. And my grandmother, till this day, she still remembers that. She said, oh, my baby can read. My baby is going to do something when she grows up. And she spoke it into existence. So that just goes to show you what happens when you put things out there in the universe. And like I said, I'm all about good karma, helping people out who
Yes.
deserve to be helped and not the people who are just out here to just seek what they can get and all of these things. Because let me tell you, there's people out here that have the right intention and there's people out here who have bad intentions. And those people are just there temporarily. They're not there to help your career grow or help you be a better person or hold you accountable. Those are the
Mm-hmm.
people that you want to keep around, the ones that are going to hold you accountable, that are going to call you out and say, yo, what you did was wrong, sis. Or you could have did this a little bit better or critique you along the way, but you got to be willing to take constructive criticism. And I'm thankful for my brother
Yeah.
Sky Valentine. Shout outs to him, who's also an actor and up and coming Reese. You know, he's been in the game for a long time. And I'm so thankful to have people like him in my circle that'll call me out and say, hey, girl, that'll call me out and say, okay, sis, what you're doing is wrong. Or sis, this direction that you're going in, I just don't see it. I don't
Mm-hmm.
feel it. And keep people around like that in your circle and not the ones that'll be just
Yes.
coming around like, okay, Jamal, let me borrow $10,000. Those are the ones that you need to cut out of your life automatically, right then and there. The opportunists. I'm just like, no.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you used to pick on me in high school, and now you coming around all of a sudden. I've had those too.
Right.
And I was just like, okay, didn't you used to bully me in high school? They see the change, or what we like to quote unquote call in this day and age the glow up. They see the different looks, they see the different things, the different guests that I have on my platform. They see all these things, and they jump on and they latch onto me, and all of a sudden they want to be nice. Didn't you call me ugly in high school? But I'm, excuse my French, guess who's effable now? So,
Yeah.
but anyway, that's the point that we're trying to make. Cut those people out of your circle and keep the ones that will be around to hold
Hmm.
you accountable, a strong support circle. And how important are family values and a support circle for you?
Extremely important. If it wasn't for my family and my friends, I know for sure I wouldn't be here talking to you or doing anything else. Um, I mean, I live for my family, and I love my friends. Um, and that's how how I enjoy life. So you know, like I say, the things that I wish for, my career, other materialistic things, you know, that's important, but more important for me is family and his friends. Down here in the South, um, you don't need a whole lot,
At all.
especially when you have like all you need is a good circle of people around you. You're gonna have some of the best times doing absolutely nothing. You don't have to go to the club. You don't have to go to a bar or anything. Y'all could be really just in the house, not even drinking, at the table, talking, just doing absolutely nothing, just talking and having a real good time. Those are the times that I live for, or even just going to see like my niece, seeing my mom do stuff. It's those is what makes life living, So, or them even coming to see me, or seeing me do projects and telling me that they're proud, stuff like that. Family keeps you living, keeps you going. So extremely important. Number one, apart under well, number two under God for me.
And I've come to realize that it's like I said, I live in luxury fashion. I love the Mugler's, the Chanel's, the Dolce and Gabbanas, all of that. I love fashion. But nothing can take the place of that but God and
Right.
family. And that's what I've learned to realize along the way as well too. It's nice to look beautiful, have hair and makeup, all of these things.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, I'm thankful for my family because without them, I would
Yes.
not be here where I'm at right now. You would not see the Miss Stevie that you would see today. Standing here for my mom nurturing me and teaching me things along the way, and my father just telling me how it really is. It's been abusive, but the one thing I will commend him for 100% is giving me the power and the strength and encouraging me to speak out and not stay silent because I wasn't always this outspoken. It took, and then I know people want to know, how do you get the confidence? How are you so bold? How are you so fearless? I guess it's something that comes with God's will. It comes with prayer and more
Hmm.
importantly, just faith in general. Just having
Yes.
something that can encourage me and give me strength along the way to be even more humble. Because there are days when I'm not this fearless and I'm not this bold. We
Hmm.
all wear a mask. Everybody wears a mask.
For
And
sure.
again, it goes back to that two-way mirror that I was talking about.
Hmm.
So for that, we all have our demons. We all have our darkest days.
We do.
I'm not, beautiful as I am. Well, thank you. But we all have our days. But one thing that people can never take away from that is our sanity, the fact that we are who
Yes.
we are and we're human. There's going to be
Hmm.
days when we're not going to want to be happy. There's going to be days when we're going to be sad. There's going to be days when we're going to be angry. We're going to feel all these different emotions. And you want to know what that makes us, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day, fashion dolls, it makes us human. So you can't get mad at somebody for having all of these emotions or just talking to someone or venting. Everyone has their own way to cope with pain
Hmm.
and depression and emotion because we're talking about that. And then we're going to lighten it up at the end of the show. But never lose who you are for somebody else or lose
Definitely.
yourself in someone else. Because and another thing that
Yep.
comes to love, some people are so quick to fall in love just to be happy.
Hmm.
Be happy with yourself
Hmm.
first. Self love comes
Yes.
first. And that's for anybody. And I've realized that along the way, dating guys in the past. just to try to make me happy, just to be dating, just to say, oh, I got a man now too. Now what? No, you got to find that happiness within yourself. Because if you're not finding the
Right.
happiness within yourself, then what are you doing? Why we're here? You got
Right.
to, and because trust me, we all have consciences, and my conscience has tapped me on the shoulder a couple times and be like, okay, girl, what are you doing? Why? Like,
Mhm.
what the hell are you doing? And I'll
Mhm.
just be like, okay, because we all have that good angel on our shoulder and we have that bad angel on our shoulder. And they'll be tapping us and nudging us like, okay, why are you doing this? You know what you did to hurt that person. That's wrong. And I've hurt someone. And the thing about it is, we're all not perfect. We have our flaws, we have our
We're not.
scars. Everybody is perfectly imperfect. That's how I like to see
Mhm.
it. And we all make mistakes, but the thing is, how do you hold yourself accountable and how do you learn from it? Because I've had to hold
Mhm.
myself accountable and make myself critically aware plenty of times for things I have said just out of spite, out of anger. Not controversial things on my show, of course, because I try to keep it to a point where my audience, my black audience members out here, we all can relate to something that we've been through because we've been oppressed and we've been promised things for so long. And with what they're trying to do in Georgia, that's a whole mess. I'm not even going to get into that. But just in general, what Republicans they're trying to do just out here is just, it's a mess, y'all.
Oh.
If y'all catch my drift. But
Mhm.
we've been promised things
Look,
for so long. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Jamal.
no, you're good. To piggyback off of what you're talking about, losing sight of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would say, um, easy way to not to lose sight of yourself. Always know your core values.
Where they
Keep
start the
up with your
who?
core values. You never lose sight of yourself. But don't at the same time, don't be afraid of change. Don't be afraid to evolve to the place where you need to be, where the good Lord is trying to take you. You know, take those core values with you, those principles, because that's what makes you know who you are. But don't be afraid to evolve. Don't be afraid to change because it can be scary. I know that for sure. It can be really scary, but he's taking you somewhere. Just go with that ride. Go with that ride, and if anything, if anybody gets anything out of this whole interview for me, um, I watched this interview with oh, I can't get his name out. Steve from Family Feud.
Steve Harvey. Yes.
Steve Harvey, yes, Steve Harvey. He did an interview in like it was a it was like a parking garage, and he said something very important and very very good. He said, "Don't be afraid to jump. Take that dive." When I moved out to LA for a while, I learned a lot of things that came back. I still go between the two, but take that jump. Don't be afraid of like I said, the evolution of where you're going, the change, because you'll never know if you're gonna fly unless you jump. So take those core values with you though, because if you don't, that's where you lose sight of yourself, and that's when you'll start becoming too malleable to the point where you're stand for almost anything. Because if you don't have those core values, people can get you to do things you normally won't do. If it's completely against your core values. There are some values you can let go because that's where the change comes from. But if it's your core values like family and friends, things of that sort, religion, things of that sort, man, keep those with you because that's who you are, at the core. So, you know, um, yeah, jump, do it. I jumped a long time ago. I never looked back. You get frustrated sometimes. You can, but yeah, just go out there and do it. Like you said, when you were younger, you really could speak to a lot of people. Your evolution was that, public speaking wasn't your thing. But now look at you. You have your own show on Instagram TV. So I mean, look at you. You're flying. You're flying. You don't know where you're going, but you're flying somewhere.
And I get scared at times. A lot of people think that, oh, well, she's this fearless. She's powerful. She's like Xena, the warrior princess. She's fearless. She's outspoken. She's bold. Listen, there are days when I get scared too. And it is
Hmm.
this journey somewhat has not been easy for me. I've realized that I've had to change things along the way and I've took constructive criticism from people and not just with the aesthetic, the look, the fashion, the hair, the makeup, all of those things of changing up that. But changing up how I interact, changing up how I choose to select certain things to talk about on my show, just changing up just my interactions with talking about certain topics. And it's been it's been exhausting. I'm gonna just put it to you that way. It's been exhausting and
I hear
draining.
you.
But
Hmm.
one thing for me is I said, okay, and then once you see the results, once you change and you see the results, you will see everything just kind of fall all into line. It's like putting the
Hmm.
pieces of a puzzle together. And once you've got
As
that
it
puzzle
falls
piece
in place.
together, it's all complete, it's all aligned. God has a purpose for you. God put you out here to
Yeah.
do something online.
Hmm.
So for me, change hasn't been easy. Either I'm just so set to doing things accustomed. We're so accustomed to doing things the way that we would normally do them, but we just kind of got to break out of doing the same thing for a little while. So I've now gotten to a point where I said, okay, I think I'm open and receptive to receiving other people as well too, because I was very selective. But I said, you know what? Let me invite new people into my circle, but I still got to kind of keep my Scorpio stinger up is in the air. Like,
Well,
okay, shoot, who do?
you always got to
Yes,
watch
aware,
when you add
aware
people
of
into
what's
your
going
circle.
on. Yes,
Hmm.
because people had, like I said in the beginning of our conversation, um, people have good intentions, and then there are those who have bad intentions, who are just there to just
They
leech
are
on. I call them energy vampires, and the blood
energy
is
vampire.
your
I like that.
success. So
Hmm.
any taste of your blood, any taste of that success they will try to get, they got it and it's gone. So I'm always keeping up my garlic, and my garlic is my antenna. So again, like I said, I'm a
Big
Scorpio, and
steaks.
Scorpios, we have this antenna up. We're always aware of our surroundings and keeping. But there are some
Hmm.
times when people will call things out to me. I'm thankful for those people too, and we all have to be thankful for those people too, because they'll let you know, like, girl, you didn't see that, or Jamal, you didn't see this coming. He didn't see it coming. Like, God puts people in your life for a reason, and I'm so
Right.
thankful for that because it opened my eyes to see things that I truly didn't see or I was unaware of. Those are the people that you need to keep in your circle. And the energy vampires, you got to kill them with that garlic or that steak. And you want to know what that steak
Hmm.
is called? That steak is called motivation and leveling up in your life to the next level because they're not ready for what's coming for you because they think that it was
Right.
destined for them. They don't want to see you happy. And you got to be careful for those type of people. Nene Leakes said something on one of the Real Housewives of the reunion Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion special. She said, you can't win when you're playing dirty. So these people that are out here speaking negative
Hmm.
on you, that are out here speaking negative in your life, in your existence, just mess because it does something
Hmm.
to your aura, just your whole being, like just negativity in general. It throws me off sometimes, and I'm just like, I don't even want to do the show today. I'm just not in the mood. I don't feel like doing hair and
Yeah.
makeup and coming on and giving people a show. I just don't do it because my mind is not there. But you got to find something and stay focused to it. Like Jamal here
Yeah.
has acting, I have fashion, I have talking and speaking engagement. And more importantly, this new acting project, I'm not going to speak too much on that, but find a niche for you that works. That way you're
Yes.
able to vent and get out everything that you're having on the inside. Journaling helps. Talking to people helps. I have found little ways. Therapy is also a main thing as well too. But we all have to find something that will keep us grounded. But more importantly, family values. That's why I asked that question because so many of us we get so caught up in the industry. And I'm about to say the most controversial thing. Lord forgive me. But you become Kanye West. You become so alienated, you become so disconnected with your audience, with your core family base that you
Yeah.
forget who you are. You lose who you are. You become lost and we don't know who you are. So remain humble and never lose sight of who you are. Never cut off the people out of your life that have helped you grow. So I'm thankful for the likes of Sky and shout outs to my girl LaShawn Sanders, the boss lady blueprint. and the A.T. Jones of the world that have helped me get to where I'm at, saying, okay, you need to change this for your platform in order for it to grow. You need to do this for your platform in order for it to grow. And now eyes all over the world from, you're in Mississippi, Jhamahl here's in Mississippi, and people all over the world are now watching this platform. And as it grows, I said, I'm not Oprah. I'm not Ricky Lake. I'm not Jenny Jones, and I don't aspire to be, but I inspire to be a one of a kind, and that's Miss Stevie. I inspire to stay true to who I am. And that's why I can relate authentically to so many people, because I see the things that people are thinking. More importantly, because some people out here, they're scared. They don't have a voice. And I said, if I can be that voice or that backbone for you, I will do that. I will be your lifeline. I will be whatever you need me. Whatever you need me to say, I will say it. If you're hurt, I can feel it. And more importantly, I can cover that hurt. I can help you heal that hurt. I'm no therapist. I'm not licensed. But baby, I am licensed to do some hair and some nails. And I know where I'm going to stay to do that. But I'm no
Yeah.
therapist. I'm no therapist. But I can advise you and I can guide you and I can coach you. And more importantly, it's all about honesty. Honesty with people. Be honest and upfront with people. We've become now in a day and age where
Yeah.
we've been
Yeah, for
taught to
sure. Definitely.
sugarcoat or water things down. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, for what? The person, if you lie to the person, it's going to hurt them even more. But if you tell them the
Right.
truth and break it down to them, they'll love you even more for that. They'll hate you in the process,
Mm-hmm.
but they'll love you even more. And they'll gain a newfound respect for you. And I've caught and taken some L's and backlash on my platform because even when it comes to critiquing 45 and his actions, I've taken
Okay.
so much backlash for it. Like, people were just like, well, why you went in on him? You're going in on Donald Trump. Da, da. What's it going to do? What's it going to do is it's going to bring awareness to what he's doing. And we know what he's doing is wrong. So somebody's got to call it out. I'm not going to be like a Tucker Carlson and water it down and sugarcoat it and give you misinformation. No, I'm going to give you the truth. This man is a
That's
racist
right.
and we know it. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I created my platform and remodeled it in a way that is so unapologetic that our audience, for us as black people, we can relate to it so much. So I will always be pro-black for everything, just to clarify that.
Mm-hmm.
But now we're going to get to the nitty gritty. This is my last question I'm going to ask Jhamahl because we're having such a good conversation. And I'm pretty sure the ladies, y'all are going to
I
thank me for
appreciate it.
this because he is a looker. Does Jhamahl have a special
Thank you.
lady in his life?
No, I'm single. Unfortunately single. Um, for now at least, till I meet that right person. And like I said earlier, that family is one of my core values. Eventually I want to have, a wife and kids. So yeah,
It's coming. It
but
will
yeah,
all
I'm still a
fall in
little dolo
line.
for the moment.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I cut you off.
No, I just said I'm solo dolo for the moment.
And it's coming. It will all fall in line. You've got
Oh yeah.
so much coming your way, and I can see it. I can feel it. And I've had guests on my show in the past that I said, "Oh, I manifested that." And the next thing you know, you see them on poles. They out here sitting next
Hmm.
to Beyonce, taking pictures with Janet Jackson and all of that. I'm just like, well, wait. Who said that this was going to happen? It's like I predict things and they all come true. So I'm just like, I'm not psychic. I just manifest things. I'm a firm believer of manifestation. I don't, and my friend, shout out to Lamar, he said, don't jinx it. Because when I got this movie role for this film, this particular horror film, shout outs to Alex, I said, I'm afraid that I'm going to forget my lines. That was the thing with me. I was afraid that I was going to keep forgetting my lines, that I was going to mess up, that I was going to do something. I know actors and producers and directors out here like Spike
Hmm.
Lee that are incredibly persistent about their work. And they like everything to run
Yes.
picture perfect. Another producer would have to be Ryan Coogler, Black Panther, the imagery, the
Oh really?
whole thing. I know he put a whole lot of work into this project, this franchise. So
Well, for sure.
my worry and my fear was that I was going to mess up, but then it went the complete opposite. So don't doubt yourself. That's what I'm saying, basically. Don't
Oh
doubt
yeah.
yourself and don't
That's where
jinx it.
they definitely don't jinx it. And I give you a tip on how to get away from that fear. I would say it goes to the being prepared. So what I would say is, I tell a lot of my fellow actors, if you're scared of you losing your lines, you need to read the script multiple
For
times,
her to say, yeah.
multiple times, way before you even get to rehearsal. You need to have it back and forwards. And there's a book out there, learning your lines backwards and forwards. So once you get the set, then you know you got it. Now you're just playing, you know, because you have so many takes, you have so many ways that you could do things. You could, you know, depending on what direction the director wants you to go in. So he might, you might do something that's within the character that was not
Switch
even
it
in the
up.
script, and he might like it. There was one scene I could tell you about in the Indiana Jones movies. Harrison he was sick one day, and the scene called for him to have this nice little fight scene with a guy with whips. Well, actually, I'm sorry, it was a guy with swords. The
Ooh.
guy does all these little things with the swords, so he pulls out his gun and shoots him. Well, he was sick. He was supposed to have a fight scene with the man with his whip, but he was so sick. The director liked it so much that he kept it in. So just take that preparation that you have worked really hard on beforehand. When you go on the set, you should be extremely confident in what you know, and let embrace the nervousness. Yes, we have a lot of lights around, a lot of people are
Yes.
doing their jobs, um, and when they call for action and for places, you have to be ready, but embrace it, feel it, and then go with it. Take that energy and use it for something to empower your scenes.
100%, 100%, and that should be the energy and the fuel that you need to keep going along the way. So, for people out there who doubt themselves, I hope you guys took a lot from this conversation. This was an amazing conversation with you, Jamal, and I definitely will be bringing you back on my platform whenever you want to come back.
Oh
You're
man,
more than welcome to come
thank
back.
you. I'm definitely let me know, and I'm definitely looking forward to being on your platform again.
Definitely, and it was such a pleasure talking to you. I feel like we old friends, we college buddies. We done talked for
Oh yeah,
hours.
that's how we Mississippians are. That's how we are. So me in particular for sure. I'm friendly like that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, our guest for today, Jamal Hill. Make sure you guys please go and follow him and stay tuned for all of his projects. I definitely will be bringing him back on in the future, and this won't be the last you'll see of him because I'll be bringing him on some more. But I want
All
you
right.
guys to take something from this interview as well too, and more importantly, I want all of y'all to be safe out here. Wear y'all masks because I see a lot of y'all
That's
not wearing y'all's masks out here.
yeah,
Y'all playing around. Miss Rona is loose,
yeah.
and when she come knocking on y'all's doorstep, don't say I didn't warn you. So wear your mask,
Mm-hmm.
get vaccinated if
Treat
you
it with the
want to get
seriousness it
vaccinated.
deserves.
Absolutely, don't listen to these governors out here in Florida, the Santees and Texas, all of Abbott, all of them. Do not listen
Right.
to them. Wear your mask, wash your hands, social distance, keep your family safe, and we love you here, Style by Stevie. Tomorrow, my co-host EJ will be back, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure you guys tune in for that, and we've got some more amazing guests throughout the week. So thank you all for tuning in to my exclusive interview with new and up and coming actor
See you
Jamal
later.
Hill. You too. Take care.